So, my name is Ania Grobicki and I'm the Executive Secretary of the Global Water Partnership. So, the key messages are really about the importance of water security to people, to economies, to the environment, and how strongly this intersects with climate and development issues. So we're here in the Africa Pavilion. The Water Day has been organized by the African Union, and we work very closely with the African Union and with AMCOW, the African Ministerial Council on Water, in this program called Water, Climate and Development for Africa. So in Africa, water is really key to the development of economies on the continent. Africa has a very variable climate, and climate change is causing that variability to become even more severe, as we're seeing with this extreme drought in the Horn of Africa, where many people are suffering and dying because of the drought. Equally, people are very strongly affected by floods, and
like we were this week.
yeah, and it's really an absolute necessity to make water part of the negotiations, because water is life. Water is cross-cutting. It's not an individual sector. Decisions that are made on forests through the RED program are going to impact on water resources. Decisions made on agriculture have a very strong impact on water resources. It's really important for people to understand that the major impact of climate change on people will be felt through water. Yeah, we started just 2 years ago in 2009 with accreditation to the UNFCCC process, because we saw that this is an incredibly important process that's going to impact on the way potentially that investments in water are made. What we've done is we've made a pledge to the Nairobi Work Programme in the first instance to work with many partners in the Nairobi Work Programme, and the UNFCCC Secretariat has now recently brought out a very good publication on freshwater resources and climate change as a result of the work that GWP has done with many other partners in the Nairobi Work Programme. I know that a stakeholder forum together with the Water and Climate Coalition and others have also been working for a long time to ensure that water finds its place more in the text of the actual negotiations. And although it's in the text of the original convention, up until now there simply hasn't been the space in the negotiations. What we're wanting to bring is the evidence of the people who are suffering, the economies that are suffering, the evidence before our eyes, the video that I showed of the glaciers disappearing. You know, if you see it with your own eyes, you believe it. And the entire water cycle is already being affected by climate change. Africa's natural climate variability, which causes a lot of economic problems, that's being exacerbated by climate change. And so there needs to be investment in this area. We're calling for a thematic window on water under the Green Climate Fund. We're hoping that there might be an African Green Fund specifically for Africa to have a thematic window for water in there. There's a real urgent need for investment in Africa to protect people, to help the economies and the societies to adapt to the impacts of climate change. Well, I'm looking forward to hear whether there's going to be any outcome within SABSTA. You know, to be honest with you, we are looking for small steps now. We're also understanding that the arguments in terms of adaptation, I think many of those arguments have been heard now. And it's also important for us to make the argument with regard to mitigation. The fact that water management can contribute in many ways to mitigation. A lot of energy is used on pumping water around. The whole energy system and the water system are interconnected. So we also need to start making those arguments within the mitigation track, and hopefully more and more climate change negotiators will begin to understand that water policy is as important to the climate change negotiations as is energy policy. These are the two main life support systems of the planet.
Well, good luck with your work, and thank you so much for participating in Water Day.
Thank you.